English for Professionals. This video is all about how to say common phrases which we are probably using on a daily basis but saying it incorrectly or for that matter not in a refined manner. All these common phrases have great expressions, which I'm about to cover in this particular lesson. Watch it till the end because you're in for some great learning exercises. Let's start with the first phrase. Often you have interacted with someone over a period of time on calls or emails, never really met the person. But suddenly, one fine day, the situation presents itself that you're going to meet that person for the first time physically in person. So, what is the phrase to use when you're indicating delight that, look, I have interacted with you for a while and I'm so happy to finally see you? So, how do you say it very crisply yet very effectively? Well, it's so great to put a face to the name, or it's so great to finally put a face to the name. This is you acknowledging the prolonged interaction and finally the delight to meet that person in person. Okay, you can also say, it's so great to finally see you in person or finally meet you in person. Again, a great expression to indicate the delight of the prolonged interaction culminating into a in-person meeting. When someone is trying to get to your location and you are acknowledging the fact that, someone has made the effort to come and see you, one of the common expressions is, that it's so good to see you here. But acknowledging the trouble can also be, used, or it could also be expressed using this particular phrase. So you could say, I hope you didn't have too much trouble finding this place, or I hope you could find this place easily. I hope you didn't have too much trouble getting here. Again, a great way to acknowledge the effort that they took to come and see you in person. When you're closing a discussion and someone says, that they had a great time interacting with you, or for that matter, they had a very productive discussion with you, and you want to probably, say that you carry the same sentiment. So the common phrase we use is same here. I typically tend to use the phrase likewise. Likewise is a great expression to use that you kind of echo the same sentiment. Likewise, it was indeed a very meaningful exchange of thoughts. When you're leading a call, probably with a customer, or for that matter, with your colleagues, or it could even be with your seniors, when there is no clear agenda planned, but you have some very critical points to put out there, you could probably take a buy-in. Okay, how do you go about taking a buy-in or ensuring that the note on which you're starting out is the right note to start out on? So you could probably say, I would like to outline how I plan the roadmap for this particular discussion. We could start out with point number A, moving on to point number 2, that is point number B, and then ultimately we could also discuss at length point number C. Do you think this works, or would someone else like to suggest something that could be added to this? So here you have clearly articulated a flow to the discussion and you're seeking a buy-in. You're actually giving enough respect to your audience by telling them, please feel free to add something if I may have missed, or for that matter, you have established ground rules on how to proceed in the discussion. So it's always, whenever there is no clear roadmap or blueprint as to how to take the discussion forward, it's good to establish some ground rules followed by taking a buy-in of your listeners or your audience. They say, when in doubt, ask. Basically, whenever you're unsure about the approach, it's better to get the granular level details sorted and get your head clear so that you can proceed in the right direction. So, there are two ways to do it. either you make a statement out there, you put a statement out there to the group saying, I think we should go over this again. This is a very clear expression of you strongly recommending that we should relook at what was discussed by far. Also, you could ask a question. You could probably pose it in the form of a suggestion or question. Should we go over this once more? Again, you have politely put across the thought that we need to relook at this so that we have clarity on how to proceed further. When in a meeting or a discussion, you did not get a clear stance or a clear viewpoint of the people at the other end of the table, it's good to seek clarity. And instead of asking them directly, would you like to clarify your position? You could rather take a very subtle approach by saying that I think we need to once again re-establish our respective positions so that we could all proceed with clarity. So we'll go first. So when you do that, you are repeating, for that matter, your position or stance on that subject, and you're also seeking clarity on the opposite person's view or their stance on that subject. So seeking clarity on positions often entails that you re-emphasize, re-establish your position, and then reach out to the people at the other end of the table for their position. This doesn't make a lot of sense. Could we rediscuss this point? Well, doesn't make a lot of sense? Extremely rude. Never use this phrase regardless of, how much lack of clarity has happened in that particular discussion. What I would recommend instead is you could use the phrase, something doesn't quite add up here. Why don't we relook at this entire viewpoint? Okay, so something doesn't quite add up here. A great replacement of, something is not making sense or this is not making sense. When you want to express disagreement, no is never a good way to indicate disagreement. But yes, you do need to put it out there that you disagree or you're not in sync. So probably you could say, I'm afraid we look at things slightly differently. Or for that matter, I'm afraid we don't quite see it that way. Okay? Again, great phrases to use. So polite and yet so clear or so firm in conveying the message that you guys are not on the same page. When someone is only nitpicking, the smaller problems, niggling issues, things which, will come definitely in any project, any scenario that you're dealing with at the workplace, you probably have to give them a subtle reminder of the big picture. And what better way to do that than by reminding them of the quote, can't see the forest for the trees. So you can tell them that I think you can't see the forest for the trees, which means you can't see the big picture for the smaller challenges. It could also be used as a motivational talk. Okay, you could say, often when we are bogged down by these niggling issues, we tend to forget that there is a big picture out there, the ultimate objective out there. Let's solve this so that we can get there. So I think we have to start, following the approach of a positive outlook, and it should not be about can't see the forest for the trees. At English Excellence with Chaya, we believe in bringing the best to you. Basically, if you love our lessons, go ahead and you could share this with, your social circles, your professional circles, and yes, like, share, and subscribe to our channel because that way you will get notified of our videos first. We, in fact, are going to have many more videos in this series of business English phrases or phrases for professional use. So watch out for this space because this is a great learning tool of how you can be, very, very concise, precise, and yet very effective in your communication.